What's up? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I'm Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me we have some more RPG horror stories, and this time around, your boy Morrow finally remembered to charge his stuff. I've been doing a lot of VR chat as of late. I'm not sure if you know this, but I do things outside of just being Morrow. If you know, you know. If you know about the cat adventures. To be fair, however, this is the first time in 2 years of doing this channel specifically, which is insane to me, that I really needed to charge stuff, and I was completely stopped from being able to record because I forgot to charge my stuff. Anyway, let's get to the first RPG horror story for today. Magical 2 words that made me get up and leave a campaign at session 0. Breeding slaves. Huh. Okay. I mean, at least the DM hit you directly about this from session 0 and not like later in the sessions, like, you know, session 12, session 13 or something. You found out about this particular theme over in session 0. But I'm kind of curious about the context for it all. Let's keep reading. It's really amazing to see this happen in real life. I never thought I'd get one of these playing a group of people IRL. What actually happened was that we recently wrapped up an Exandria or Pathfinder 2e campaign. Wanted to keep playing a campaign we started before that OGL thing, but didn't want to keep playing 5e. And with that campaign done, we started planning what's next. Unfortunately, we had a player drop out, and our GM said he was willing to GM if there was no other choice, but he'd rather be a player if anyone else is willing to run the game. Well, one of our players brought in his girlfriend, who previously didn't want to join a group with all guys, but since we had a relative of mine join the game last year, so it wasn't all guys anymore, she was not on board. GM for his part apparently talked to some acquaintance of his who agreed to GM, and had a homebrew he really wanted to run. Retroactively, GM realized this guy only became interested when GM told him about our group makeup. Okay, I am putting together the picture. We got only a few paragraphs in, but I'm starting to build a case. So basically, they got a group of people, and they have a DM or GM that doesn't really want to GM, but will GM if need be. They got a new player coming in that's finally another girl, someone's cousin or relative, then somebody else's girlfriend joins in, and then when GM tells their friend about this, they basically go, "Oh, you have women there. Oh, now I really want to join." And when considering the theme of breeding slaves is... Let's continue. So this guy joins our Discord server, and whenever anyone brings anything up about character creation or world building, he goes, "We'll discuss this on session 0. Still, whenever my relative or the other player's girlfriend bring up something about character backstory, he gets a bit too excited and starts telling them how he has some ideas and to wait for session 0. If it was any other person or we didn't know the context beforehand, I'd be like, "Oh wow, yeah, that's a GM that's just really excited about the concept they're going for. They kind of don't want to spoil anything ahead of time and want to basically give like a big surprise factor to everybody at session 0. But considering the theme is breeding slaves, I'm probably not going to make a lot of people at the table or anybody at all comfortable with this kind of theme or the kind of fantasies and ideas this GM specifically has. Considering the fact and the factors and stuff, right? The GM didn't care at all about bringing this kind of theme to this game whatsoever and didn't get excited until, as OP said, they heard about the makeup of the party. They heard that there are women playing in this game, and then their ideas and fantasies probably were like, "I can make it happen. Finally, after so long, the big hentai fantasy of mine can finally become a thing. My kinks can be realized." I'm not sure if it's a king. It could be just a random fantasy. It could just be a fixation. I'm not fully sure, but you know what I mean when it comes to this sort of thing. They're getting excited. They're getting very excited, not necessarily about running the theme itself, but because they get to play with female players and run that theme with them, which is a bit of a concern for sure, but more like as a puppet, as a ploy, as like a element of their fantasy they're trying to realize into a D&D campaign. It would just be really, really strange and weird, you know? Regardless, let's continue with this. Session 0 rolls around, and oh my god, I don't want to talk ill of someone for superficial things beyond their control, but at the same time, the smell. Oh my freaking god, the smell. This dude floated into the room in a cloud of BO and what I generally want to hope is constant farting rather than the actual smell of crap. It was absolutely rancid. I was already considering not coming for session 1 as he went through some mechanical stuff, and I cursed the existence on my olfactory nerve. Still, it somehow wasn't the worst part. No, the worst part was the homebrew. That stunk even worse, though only metaphorically. You know, no, you kind of had it. Sorry to constantly break up and stuff. I feel like I just need to make comments. Listen, you're perfectly valid if you don't want to join a game with somebody that's running a game in person that literally fucking smells. If they smell to the point where they just BO everywhere and farts everywhere, yeah, you're perfectly valid to not want to play with them. At the end of the day, you shouldn't have to deal with a freaking torture machine of someone's BO in order to try to enjoy a proper game. GM should probably go take a shower, stop being such a smelly nerd, and stop torturing everybody with their smell. Seriously, we have plumbing and running water in places. It's the modern era. It's the modern day. It's not like we live in medieval times where peasants like wash like once a month in a creek down the river, basically. The fact that you guys even considered staying for session 1, even past the BO, is kind of crazy to me, but let's continue. He talked about how dark his world was, how hardcore, how he wouldn't be coddled, and choices had consequences, how slavery was rampant. My relative, bless her heart, made the mistake of saying she wanted to play an escaped slave who was a rogue working against slavery. Started by shooting her down because slavery was so rampant it would be pointless, and no one could effectively be working against it. And then it got worse. He suggested she play a former breeding slave. That was the point I got up and said, I'm sorry, but frick no, I'm out, and left through the already open due to the smell garage door. I barely made a few steps down the driveway when I heard the yelling, so I came back to see him being told off by everyone else and asked to leave, as apparently my leaving had opened the floodgates. We gave GM some crap for bringing this guy over, but at least we were on the same page about how ass this crap was. We're now in a bit of a stalemate to decide whether GM breaks down and decides to run the game, or if I'm going to pick up GMing. We'll see. Still, goddamn, the goal to come to an actual in-person game and start talking about breeding slave. Wild stuff. It's also absolutely insane and bewildering to me that this GM, this stinky little nerd, basically was like, ooh, you know, they're gonna love the whole breeding slave and slavery being rampant and stuff, and these themes I got going on, and I get to have women participate in my fantasy too. But also, I'm gonna keep it a secret, be it a hush-hush from them until session 0, and I'll surprise them, and I'll see their happy faces and be excited over the themes. Guys, why aren't you excited about the themes? What do you mean you don't like it? It's breeding slaves, guys, come on. I feel like I said the word breeding slaves too much. At this point, I feel like my channel is gonna be shut down, but I'm taking risks, man. I am Morrow, the risk taker. I'm not really. I've been hella safe on here. But regardless of all things, this is an insane take just to go unapologetically into this. Like 10 out of 10 fervor, but completely misplaced and doesn't read the room whatsoever. If this amount of effort was put into, if the amount of effort was put into this fantasy world was put into taking a shower and keeping yourself clean, maybe I'll give the guy some commendation. But the fact that he clearly has priorities here. No shower and smell like farts all the time, or smell like ass all the time, but primarily gotta focus on making sure this fantasy comes to life and comes to fruition, because we gotta encourage this grim, darkish, disturbing world full of slavery and hopeless dreams and everything. I don't really know how else to describe it. I don't think it's even grim dark. It's just torture fantasy for the sake of torture fantasy. That's kind of what it comes off to me at this point. However, in this situation, I feel like you got yourself an opportunity to try GMing for your own, because I mean, you can't do any worse than the guy that literally can't shower and wants to have a breeding slave fantasy. I mean, I'd say just give it a shot, flex your DMing muscles, flex that creativity and stuff, and do your very best. I mean, might as well. I fully encourage him. There comes a time in every player's moment where you can either wait for a DM to come around or GM to come around, or you can just GM yourself. And I think this is a moment, this is your calling to give it a shot yourself and give it your best try. Maybe start off like a one-shot or something, you know, get your muscles, creative muscles flexing a little bit. Start off with some sort of a creative one-shot or do something here and there, like a mini campaign basically, just to kind of get used to the whole process and then go from there. I wish you the best of luck and hope you guys find a GM or you get the game going. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next story for today. And a brief reminder, do you wash your ass today? Let's continue with the next story for today. DM wants me to play Underage Elf. Re-up. Okay. I noticed something as I was checking through the stories before my controllers died and everything. Why are there so many RPG horror stories that have the not safe for work tag? There have been so many. Not safe for work, essay warning. What is going on with RPG horror stories? What kind of horrible things are people going through? It's awful. It's terrible. Good lord. Like, I see all them and I'm like, yeah, I mean, that probably would be a decent video. But also I'm like, oh no, what are people going through? This is awful. I know the story will most likely be 100% skipped because of how obscene the content is. And I added a bit more from the original post because I reread it and left out some things. And after logging into my old Discord to see if I was telling my at the time friends, I pieced some things together. So all stories start online, Discord. This was really early in my D&D expectation and I was still around 14 to 15 at the time. Will be relevant. And I was joining D&D TTRPG servers here and there. Most of them were empty and honestly really unassuming. Wasn't my vibe, wasn't kind of a game. I posted an ad in the server stating my age. I'm a girl and that I'm new, looking for a hand-holding DM that may have mercy on me. At that point, the only dice I've ever rolled were on Baldur's Gate, Yeah, corny. I know, but I was bored. It was around last year's summer break, so what did I have to lose? My D&D itch was itching bad. So bad that I turned to AI DMs. Yes, it was that bad. Having a craving to try D&D and just roll some math rocks is absolutely amazing, and I fully commend you. But I will say one thing: if you're underage, or just in general, if you're a person online, do not reveal this kind of information to people online, dude. Like, actually, it's uncomfortable. There are creeps that exist. I don't want to mention anything specific here on YouTube, but there's specific a Roblox YouTuber that recently got into a lot of hot water for trying to protect underage people from a lot of PDF files, basically. And I feel like just even mentioning about this kind of stuff is still a little bit of hot water when it comes to YouTube and all that. But really, I don't recommend mentioning your age, especially if you're underage in some server will probably have a lot of people that are adults and stuff. Just in general, it's like an online safety thing. Don't mention any kind of immense like self-identifying information that can help track you down or pinpoint stuff about you. And definitely if you're underage, don't mention that you're underage. Just don't, honestly. Just a safety thing. From the way I can see the title and the way the story is going, it's probably gonna get sleazy with some DM trying to take you under the wing, but instead becomes like a complete creeper PDF file. That's just the vibe that I'm getting. You did say that your age was important, and that makes me a little bit concerned and worried that things are gonna go bad. Like, it's just awful, man. Keep yourself safe online, guys. Don't really like massive information about yourself, and only real information that you can, if anything, only trust people that you truly can trust with your life regarding your personal information, like very close friends or spouses and stuff. But otherwise, to online strangers, do not reveal that kind of thing, just for your personal online safety. I got a friend in message request. It was a DM who said I was perfect fit for his campaign. New players welcome. I was ecstatic because at this point I haven't even rolled dice, and almost all adds itself for a campaign were 18 plus, so I thought this was a godsend. I was wrong, like really wrong. We get chatting and I start asking about the campaign, and I was using a Castlevania profile pic at the time, expressing how I wanted to play as an iteration of Strahd maybe, or someone like Cazador, minus all like really bad things they did beside murder and torture, because the party was leaning towards evil and murder hobo. Yes, I was going to have my first campaign around a bunch of murder hobos. Every great story starts there. We're playing a homebrew game, I think, or maybe a one-shot DM found on D&D Beyond. Basically, the main plot was something to do with vampires. That got me hooked. You know, that classic Demon King, Lich King stuff. I don't remember too much because the following message excited me at the time. It was literally red flags standing in my face, blaring in my ears to start running. I really wish I knew. He said he made a character for me. That's why he responded around a day later after I posted my ad. And I was really excited because I was a total noob. She was a level 3 high elf cleric. I don't remember the god, she was a healer type, had little to no offensive spells. I thought she was cute, like Marcille, because she was blonde and blue eyes, and figured I'd take inspo from Delicious in Dungeon. However, looking back on the character sheet, the elf was 18. He made it a point to say she looked like a lolly even, if she was an adult in human years. They still followed the elves only mature at a century old rule, by the way. Run for the hills from this kind of DM. There's so many things that are wrong. One, your DM shouldn't be putting a character sheet for you and making you play whatever kind of monsters creation they made. They should help you with creating a character sheet, not make one for you and just be like, oh, there's your character, I'm forcing this fantasy on you. And especially, you shouldn't make a freaking lolly for a character. What are you doing? Just because the player's underage, why are you forcing a lolly character onto this? I feel like, I mean, we know why they're forcing a lolly character onto this player, because I want to try to do some sort of a weird, creepy fantasy with them, with their lolly character. Probably, most likely. There's everything wrong with this. There's everything wrong with this. And I wish you would have seen at the time the blaring red flags and say, hey, why are you making my character for me? Should I make my character for me? I don't want my character to be a lolly. Can we just age him up and just go from there? Oh, let's go. Let's continue. I was invited to a private server with 5 people, a text channel for general off-topic from the campaign chat, and voice chat for D&D. I was a bit shy because I've been told that I sound like a prepubescent Russian boy, description by one of my close friends, that said that the campaign was starting this week, on Friday. Okay, perfect. Open the general chat and get blasted with prawn, like a lot of it. Goonslop, AI art sometimes, rating women, and I was an edgy little kid who thought I could handle this. I'm 16 now, I'm not sure what I'm on about here, and stuck around. Jesus Christ. The audacity of this absolute creep over DM to not only invite an underage player to clearly a service you should not be on. On one hand, yes, when I was younger, when I was a dumb young 14-year-old, 15-year-old or whatever, yeah, I looked up things I probably shouldn't be looking up on my little PSP and everything. I was in a pair of boobies or two by that point, but you shouldn't put a server like this for people that are clearly underage. Hide that stuff, you absolute goon lords, you absolute numbskulls. What the hell are you doing? You have an underage person entering into an adult. Don't have an underage, first of all, don't have an underage person enter an adult server. And second of all, if you are gonna do that, the least you can do is create a hidden channel for your prawn and stuff, and then a regular clean channel. What are you doing? Oh my god, this is a disaster. This is an absolute freaking disaster. I am so sorry, Peter, what you went through. This was completely unnecessary for you to go through this. Just unnecessary. This was not needed. Well, we're deep into this hellhole. Let's continue, I guess. Ugh. I learned the characters I'll be playing with. DM sent a lot of AI feet and various porn. Oh, and it's a foot fetish person. The DM himself is just a stupid, horny goon lord, which is really disturbing that they're inviting an underage person into the little goon cave of a Discord server. Do not do that. Do not invite underage people or people that aren't of age to be able to see this stuff into your little Discord goon cave. This is creepy PDF-File type behavior. Do not do that. The only way I could see this getting even worse, and I'm hoping it doesn't go that way, is grooming allegations or the DM trying to get close to the OP, and I really hope it doesn't go that way. I really hope it doesn't go that way. I hope I'm not predicting the future and how the story is gonna go, and I hope it just doesn't go that way, for real. That would be disturbing as hell. Foot fetish aside, keep your fetishes to yourself, especially not around children. This is a child you're playing with. They're under 18. They're literally a child. Orc barbarian / orc. More edgy kind of guy, making cartel jokes and sending gore like pain Olympics, all that. Also openly started talking about extreme BDSM to me. Unfortunately, I conversed and exchanged knowledge with him. Oh, do I even want to know? Wizard. I don't remember how he was, like others, that he mentioned that my character would be a good apprentice for him, and how she was quite a cute lolly, and maybe we could teach her some things about the body instead of magic. He specified his wizard was a DILF when I asked if he was like Strahd's age, teaching things. I hope they talk about the in-game characters, not actually to this underage person. What the fuck? Paladin. For a paladin, wow, he was good at committing crimes against my character, repeatedly saying how she should fawn over his, let him bring her around back somewhere to have some fun touch time. Something about priest behind the altar or something. Yeah, I will leave it at that. Fighter. He learned how to draw because of my social links on my profile and asked me to draw his guy as a little artist starving for validation. I did as I told, a little doodle, only to have him criticize it on the spot. And I quote, he said, "I thought you'd be better." This is a gaggle of absolute fucking degenerates that really you should not be playing with whatsoever. This was a red flag. You literally brought into a space that you really shouldn't have been in. Oh my god, dude. This is actually creepy. It's literally full of people that are literally borderline PDF files with the way they're talking to you. I can't even, honestly, I don't even want to know if they mean like towards your character or towards you specifically. Regardless, what they're doing is completely crossing lines, is fucked up. They are gooner degenerates. I don't usually go out of my way to make some sort of a cheesy, crappy, cruddy, like quote from a video game or anything, but degenerates like these belong on a cross in a pit of hell somewhere to rot forever. Seriously, this is just, oh, why'd you stay? Why did you stay? Anyway, campaign day rolls around. We're sitting in voice chat waiting for DM, and I start asking around about them. I express that I'm 14 to 15 and the old 19 to 22 and above. Why I did not run is beyond me. The campaign never happened, by the way. They ended up just doing their own thing, and one of them invited me to a Minecraft server with lots of what? Funny World War II German symbols and penises around the base. What? Oh my god. Like, okay, these guys were definitely edgy, but this is cool. Please tell me you didn't join them to play Minecraft. I'm not clean of any of my sins here because I actively participated and leaned into the play. I didn't say anything because I was stupid. I've grown to learn not to do this. I dread to think what I would have ended up like if the game actually happened. I'm in a good group now that takes care of me. Kind of like a little daughter or a niece to one of them, and I'm quite happy. Sorry this is a little long. I just kind of want to see your reaction if this ever became a video. I promise I don't need therapy from this nowadays. I play as a vampire warlock from Russia. I love him. well, I wish you good luck, as Russians like to say, is Darovium. But like, Jesus Christ, you were put in a group that you really should not be in for. You were in a space in a Discord server you clearly should not have been in for. And I'm glad the game didn't happen. I'm glad you didn't stick around with these people and find somebody else to go with. But this is a lesson. Not one lesson first. Number one lesson, no D&D is better than bad D&D. 100%. Especially if you're going to be dealing with these goon lord edgelords here constantly. Yeah, definitely. This is just not worth it. It's not worth your time, not worth your effort, not worth your sanity just being lost over this, or just all this. All these guys are just not good people for you. Second of all, be very, very careful about what kind of information you reveal about yourself online, and be extremely cautious. There are literally people prowling the internet and Discord servers looking for vulnerable people to exploit and abuse. This is unfortunately a reality that we live in. There's a lot of people that go about their day, pretend like they're normal sane people, but in fact are PDF files, creeps, perverts, and just in general unsavory people to be around. Be extremely careful, no matter if you're young or old or whatever, about revealing information online about yourself, or being in spaces where clearly there's a lot of unsavory things going on. Listen, if that's not your scene, don't be part of it. If somebody invites it to a scene that's clearly not your scene, leave it as ASAP. This is a lesson to definitely learn, that you have your own self-autonomy and you should be able to get yourself out of spaces that clearly aren't for you. You should be cautious and precautious of anybody you talk online completely, because you never know who you're going to talk to. You never know who is going to be there. Don't let people know things about you, especially in fine details like that, about your age and stuff, about like just online. Just be very careful about this kind of information that you reveal, because there are actors that are literally snakes in the grass that will try to do this. This is something I talked about even before as well in the VR chat. Like 99.9% of people on VR chat are great, no, but the 0.01% of people, they're just dirty snakes that want to try to exploit others and try to manipulate others for some sort of selfish needs, personal gain, or some sort of like a weird corruption kink or corruption fetish. I don't know, honestly. I have no idea, nor do I really want to involve myself with any of these weirdos online. Be very careful online out there, y'all. Be very careful online. Keep yourself guarded. And once again, no D&D is better than bad D&D, especially in a game like this with a bunch of goon lords. Yes, goon lords is going to be my new catchphrase. I'm going to start coining from now on until it catches on. I'm sticking with it. And with that, that's going to be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thank you so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.